Hello and welcome to my SIP Boards VR presentation. I'm going to run through these objectives real quick, showing off the projects and work that I have done and why they meet that objective. First off, for objective 1, prototype and complete original virtual augmented reality applications for multiple platforms utilizing a full project development lifecycle from concept to completion. And for that one, I chose my SIP project and Traffic Cop, which is my production class VR project. The reason I think these both meet the objective is because I did just that. This started off from being an idea and a concept, and I was able to work with a team on this one and work by myself on this one to make it into a fully realized project that could be run on VR, consoles. It could be run on many different platforms. So that's why I believe that these projects have met this objective. Create and implement immersive user experiences that utilize the interaction approaches unique to virtual augmented reality hardware and platforms. For this one, I chose my alternate environment project, The Journey, and my beach locomotion project. In these projects, I focus on the movement within VR and how VR has different types of movement styles, like teleporting, pushing forward on the control stick, forward, backward, side to side to move the player like you normally would in any other video game, as well as swinging your arms back and forth, kind of like you see in the Creed game for VR. So in these games, I wanted to mainly focus on the swinging of the arms. I never been able to get the VR to work properly on my computer for some reason, but that's what my goal was for these two projects, was just to work on the movement in VR. And I like the more open approach with movement in VR, giving players the option to choose what they like. I don't really like sticking with a specific type of movement because some players get sick with certain types of movement. So with these games, I wanted to shoot for making it open, having them choose what kind of movement they want to do. So that way it gives them the most comfortable experience they can have. Design and develop simulations that leverage gamification on virtual augmented reality platforms to enhance the outcomes of non entertainment applications such as training, medical, therapeutic, military, or learning based environments. For this one, I chose a quick military test program, UE4 project that I threw together, my XR Frontier project for my virtual environments class, and a medical application discussion post that I did with figuring out what you could do with the medical field, creating a nice application for that. I believe that these meet the objectives because with my military test, I kind of just created an environment that has a bunch of military equipment in it that recruits can jump into and observe the equipment and kind of like guess what it is. So that way they get comfortable with what each equipment is and what it does. It's kind of like a nice little, as I called it, label it, test. You know, they can just jump in and figure that out. With my XR Frontier, it's based off in space, and thought it would be a cool way for students to hop into a space atmosphere and get comfortable with the planets in our atmosphere. They would be able to jump from the moon to a different planet, and from that planet to a different planet. On each planet, it could give them like facts on what it is, and all the statistics surrounding that planet. And then for my medical application, I thought about being able to bring in AR as a way of having the doctor and patient communicate with each other instead of having to go on site. That kind of happened during COVID, so not many people were seeing each other, and this kind of got my idea going with, you know, being able to meet into a virtual world or show off the patient in an AR type of environment, augmented reality, so that way they can still meet with each other and show them like, hey, this is where this hurts or whatever, just to make it work, and they don't have to go on site to see each other. Create the designs, assets, scripting, and programming needed to effectively realize fully interactive and engaging virtual reality worlds. For this one, I chose my game scripting project. an ocean walk, which was a environment project of giving the player just a nice little linear walkthrough along an ocean, following visual cues and checkpoints, being able to interact with remote controlling different bodies, as well as some zero gravity in the center of the map. And then the XR Frontier, where I just kind of, like before, design a space frontier world, create using assets from the store that I bought, to be able to bring together a realistic moon type of environment with planets in the background and a skybox. Also programming the animation for meteors just kind of like floating through space. And that's why I believe that these projects, a GS project, as said, game scripting, was just completely focused on animations as well as activating certain checkpoints to unlock different parts of the map and moving forward, as well as being able to take damage, take fall damage, and many other things that you would find in a video game. And this one I like the most just because it taught me quite a bit with the Unreal Engine. Create, implement, evaluate, and analyze the systems and mechanics utilizing written and verbal communication skills that demonstrate visualizations representing data, real-world entities, events, and interactions. This one I had a discussion post for Data Visualization Challenge, and then this one I kind of just made my own little VR graph within the Unreal Engine. It's very short, simple, to the point graph. For this one, I thought about using AR in offices to present graphs on a wall that people can interact with, kind of like what you see in Iron Man with how he interacts with his AR environments in his lab. And then for this one, VR graph, I just made a really short, simple graph here that shows like the gas prices from 2020, and it's just within Unreal Engine. It could be can be run on a VR headset as well, and it just kind of shows throughout the year of 2022 how the gas prices worked out. So it's just kind of like visualizing that data in a 3D graph in a virtual reality environment. Establish collaboration, mentorship, and professional leadership skills by working with other disciplines to deliver highly polished and completed projects in the virtual and augmented reality space. Again, I chose Traffic Cop and my SIP project because within those projects I worked with a team who were handling many other tasks and obligations, kind of like their own disciplines with art and programming and scripting. For SIP project, I brought together basically everything from what I've learned in this degree, as well as my other degree, AI, to create the Oculus Consort, which is just a virtual assistant within the virtual reality world on Oculus Quest. So that's why I believe that those two projects meet this objective, because I worked with people. I also, even with my SIP project, working on it alone, I still reached out to teachers for guidance and help, as well as getting feedback from my classmates. So I was using that collaboration and working with people, being able to lead myself with my own project and get that done within 10 weeks. So I feel like these more definitely meet this objective, and I'm quite proud of these projects.